Welcome back to Waiting Makes You Whole. This is Daneska. This video is going to be called How to Increase Your Credit. The first thing I wanted to say is my focus was not on increasing my credit. I did want to make sure it didn't get worse. Not that it was bad, it was 620 when I started my debt-free journey. But the more research and while I was educating myself, I would see that people would complain about their credit score decreasing when they got out of debt. So I started to do more research on what makes up your credit score. And I found out a few things. So I'm going to share that with you. 35% of your credit is payment history. So they look into if you're making those payments and if you're making it on time. 30% of your credit is calculated by the amount owed. So like, let's say that you have a $5,000 credit card, which is what I had. They want you to have it at $2,000 or $2,500. They don't want you to have it at the max. You shouldn't have any debt, period, but I'm just trying to help you with your credit. So that was my issue. I had two credit cards that were really maxed out. They were almost at $5,000 each, and I had to knock that debt out. So I looked into what I can do to fix it, and I'll get it. 15% of your credit is the length of history. So how long have you had your credit card open? And to make sure you keep those accounts open because it shows longevity. If you close it, it makes your credit score decrease. So just keep them open even if you pay them off. 10% of your credit is new credit. So if you apply for a new loan, a new credit card, any new inquiries is 10% of how your credit is calculated. And finally, the last 10% is the types of credit that you have. So there's different types of credit, like loans. I had a car loan. There's a credit card. I had a credit card. So you want, they look at those types of credit and how you're doing on it. So I only had one thing that I needed to work on. My biggest issue was not the payment history, was not the longevity, because I've had these credit cards for a very long time, since I was in New York, in the Bronx. Shout out. Let me stop. I had these credit cards for a very long time, so that wasn't my problem. I would make monthly payments. They would be the minimum payments, but it was monthly payments. I wasn't late, which is not a good thing either. Just get rid of them. And so the only problem I had was that I maxed them all out. They were all up to the 4,900 and something, and that really made my credit stay at 620, which was average. But I didn't want it to get worse because I was getting out of debt, so I decided to do something different. All I did, guys, was call the bank that I have a longevity with, tell them that I was interested in, because I did some research before I called the bank, and I saw that they had a special offer for a 0% APR for the first 16 months on their cards. I called that bank and I said, which mine is Chase. I called and I said, hey, I'm looking into getting a new line of credit. Will you offer me a 0% APR? So they did the background check. Of course, they had to check my credit, which was 10% of how my credit is calculated, but it's not as bad as 30%, which was making me look bad. And what I did was a balance transfer. They transferred the money that I had on my Chase card to their new card, and I also had money on another card, which was from Citibank, and I transferred it to that same card. But I also did a credit increase. So because I already had $10,000 that I had to pay off in credit, I wanted my credit score to increase. So I told them to give me a $15,000 credit increase. Was I going to use that? No, I wasn't going to use it, but I wanted my credit score to look better. So them giving me a more of an increase showed that I wasn't at maxing them out, that I was at a certain percentage, and then I was knocking out that with a 0% interest, no interest. So it just made it a lot faster and easier because there was no interest rate with the credit cards, and I was knocking it out and not using it. And I would have never thought that my credit would have jumped up to 814. Right now it's at 810. I guess because I'm not using my credit cards, but it's still really high. So I don't know who this can help, but I hope it helps someone. Thank you for watching.